teaching ESL online to children, or teaching them anything online for that matter, can come with all sorts of challenges. Particularly if you are teaching younger children, you never know what to expect in your classroom on any given day. Your students can show up to class in any or multiple of many different moods, and there can be distractions at every corner. Your students may be sad, frustrated, distracted, overwhelmed, and it is still your job to get through the lesson and to try to engage them as much as possible. Now, depending on the student and the situation, that can be a pretty difficult task. But what if I told you you could have a classroom companion who is very good at addressing many of these situations and doesn't accept any of your paycheck? Intrigued? Well, hang on for a minute because I'm about to tell you just that. Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Good morning, classes. Hello, Brittney here. I am a Christ follower, a wife of 5 years, a mother to 3 ages 4 and under, a missionary in Guatemala, and I also teach ESL online. And I'm here to inspire, train, and equip some of you to do the same. Okay, so I wasn't truly trying to fool you because clearly this video is about puppets. There's my son. In most cases, you are going to be the only teacher in the classroom. However, I wasn't entirely joking when I called your puppet a classroom assistant. And I say this because using a puppet opens up so many doors other than just providing entertainment for your students. I want to walk you through just 5 different ways that you can use your puppet so that you can think through whether or not this may be an option for you in your classroom. Now, before we jump in, take note that I am using my puppet that I created last minute for my beginning classes over a year ago.
What do you mean last minute?
He has since been attacked by our puppy twice, and I have had to restructure his face a number of times. So you will notice that he looks different throughout the sample videos depending on when I had the class, and he is looking a little rough today.
Hey!
Sorry. I hope to create a new classroom assistant in the near future.
Betrayed.
But in the meantime, he should serve our purposes.
Well, whoop-de-doo. I'm glad I could serve you.
You'll be fine, Bobby. Now, in a minute, I'm going to jump into 5 different examples of ways that you can use your puppet. But before we start, do any of you use a puppet in your classroom already? If so, how do you use them? If not, is there a reason that you have chosen not to? And would you be interested in sharing that as well? I'm really curious to know what other teachers have seen that works or does not work regarding puppets. Please comment below and let us know your thoughts. And I'm also curious to see if anything from this video changes your thoughts on puppets. So you could let us know that at the end. But without further ado, let's begin. Number 1, a puppet can help you to break the ice. Now, whether you have a student who is new and confused or overwhelmed and they're just staring at you blankly, or you have a student who is shy and needs a little help out of their shell, a puppet might be just the thing. A puppet allows you to engage in dialogue that can serve a couple of purposes. First, it can allow your student to be able to have a moment to just sit and observe without jumping in right away. And secondly, it can produce some giggles and entertainment for the student that helps them just to relax and begin engaging naturally without focusing too much on it. I'm going to go ahead and show you a clip from a class that I had just the other day with a first-time student for me. And this was the interaction that we had right at the beginning of our class. Hello, Andy. It is nice to meet you. Do you want to meet my friend? I have a friend that helps me.
Hi, Andy. My name is Bobby.
This is Bobby. Can you say hello, Bobby?
Hello, Bobby.
Hello, Andy. What? Do you like my hat?
他问你换呢 No! are you?
What?
Is you talking?
No, I'm talking.
Bobby!
It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm funny.
Number 2, you can use a puppet to get the attention of a distracted student. Now, sometimes your students are just going to be distracted by someone or something in the room, and you need to get their attention back on the lesson. Now, I have mentioned in other videos that distractions can actually be opportunities, and so I don't want you to always see distractions as a bad thing. But when I have addressed the distraction of a student, we have already talked about it, and I know that it's time that we need to come back to the lesson. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy today. But I don't want to be nagging them and continually saying, look here, listen, stop doing that, be quiet. Then sometimes I will just jump into the content with my puppet. Bobby and I might model sentences, or I might ask him questions and he answers the thing that I'm wanting my student to be doing. Now, sometimes when they hear me and Bobby talking, and I am going to refer to Bobby as a person because that's what he is in my classroom. Sometimes when they hear us engaging, then they will just come straight back to the screen and they're ready to participate themselves. If not, I sometimes use Bobby to call their name. So I'll use him to be the one getting their attention instead of their nagging teacher, and it's a little bit more entertaining for them. I might notice that little Sarah is distracted over there.
Sarah? Sarah! Where are you, Sarah?
Or if the student is right there at the screen but is not participating, does not seem to be paying attention to me, the truth is that sometimes they are just more eager to respond to a puppet than they are to me, and that is perfectly okay.
Are you okay? You can say, yes, I am.
Are you okay?
Yes, I am. I'm
Amazed!
amazed.
Are you
Amazed.
okay? No, I am. I am sad.
Scared.
I am scared.
I am
Scared.
Good, I am scared. Number 3, a puppet can be used to guide a sad, mopey, or angry student. Now, sometimes our students are just not going to be in learning mode. They are going to be sad or distracted or simply disinterested. And truthfully, I think we can all agree that we've all been there. Unless someone can give us a really good reason... There's my pup. Unless someone can give us a really good reason that we need to focus on the task in front of us, and sometimes even when they can, we're just not going to be motivated to do it. Now, when this happens, we can simply tell the students what is expected of them and demand that they do it. But this doesn't really address what's going on in their minds and hearts, and we can lose their respect and also their excitement in the process. And so I prefer to always address what they're feeling, let them talk about it, give them a chance to work through it. And I like to do this with my puppet when the students are of the right age and personality, because this lightens the mood a little bit and it makes it easier for them to break away from that negative mood once I've softened them up a bit, if that makes sense. Again, I make it a priority to be very understanding of what they're feeling, but also playful and inviting them out of it instead of letting them sink down into that negative emotion, which isn't actually negative, but you know what I mean.
She is the principal.
She is principal.
Okay, you're going to have to speak loudly so that Bobby can hear you. Because remember, Bobby does not have ears. You have to speak very loud. Okay, who is she?
Principal.
She is the principal.
What? She is the principal? Wow. Okay, good night.
So now you spin the wheel again.
Okay, every time you say an answer right, I get to bump Teacher Brittney in the head. Bump.
me in the head?
Yes, Angela, you say it right. I bop her in the head. Bop.
So Angela, she helps teachers.
Help teachers.
Bobby, don't bop me in the head. Ah! Bop!
Very good. You're doing well. But Bobby has to be nice. How many chairs do you see? So if you had 14 plus 1, what is it?
15.
15! Bop!
Bobby, you're messing up my hair. All right.
Number 4, a puppet can be used to model the exercises when the student is confused. Now, this often takes place at a lower learning level, but that is not always the case. Now, you could have a student who is continually repeating every single word you say, whether it is instruction or the actual exercises. And usually they're doing this because they don't understand what is expected and they are trying to be compliant, but it can make it really difficult for you to accomplish the learning objective or to help them. But it can make this really difficult to help them accomplish the learning objective. Now, usually they're doing this because they are confused about what is expected and they're just trying to be compliant, but this can make it really difficult for you to help them grasp the learning objective. And if they aren't truly listening, then they can't even identify the questions and answers to be grasping that information. On the other hand, when your student is confused, he or she might just sit there completely silent, not saying anything in response to you, and that can also pose a problem. But in both of these instances, your puppet can help you to model the conversation. So I can ask my puppet a question and have him answer, and then I can switch roles with the puppet. So the student right now is just listening, and then I can turn Bobby toward the student and have Bobby ask the student the question, and then have the student ask Bobby the question. There are different ways to do this, but the idea is that the puppet is presenting an opportunity for you to help the students absorb what you're trying to teach them as they observe and then slowly begin to engage with what they have seen between you and your puppet. Does that make sense? Now, another reason this is so beneficial is that it eliminates the need for you to give more instruction than necessary.
I say this and you say this.
In fact, all that you have to do is demonstrate and then give them the opportunity to reproduce that.
Grandparents. Grandparents. Can you say grandparents? Did you color, brother? Oh no! Do not color, brother. These are the grandparents. Here, we're going to have Bobby help us say it, Robert. I turned off your pen, okay? Look, Bobby, can you say grandparents? Grandparents. Now you say it, Robert. Grandparents.
Grandparent.
Yeah, good job. High five. Good job, Robert. Yes, grandparents.
Number 5, you can use the puppet to make excessive repetition a lot more fun. So some students are just going to require more repetition when they are learning words or sentences or phrases, and that is okay. But it's going to get pretty boring for both you and your student if all you are doing is saying it, having them repeat, saying it again, having them repeat over and over again. When you're using a puppet, you can do what I just mentioned, which is using the puppet as an extra person in the conversational process. So the student hears it modeled between you and the puppet back and forth, and then they can engage with you, then they can engage with the puppet. It is the same exercise on repeat, but it doesn't feel so repetitious. Also, a puppet can be used to do silly games such as using silly voices when saying those same words or phrases, or saying it quietly and then loudly. So really, it's just giving fun for your student while you do basically the same thing that you would do anyway. There's my son.
Let's say sister. Sister. Good. Now say sister.
Sister.
You scared Bobby. Good job, Robert. Now we have to say brother. Brother. Good job. Brother.
Brother.
Ah! Robert, you are so loud. Now say grandparents. Good. Grandparents.
Grandparent.
Good job, Robert. Now, the possible uses for a puppet do not end here. The possibilities are endless, and really so much of that is going to have to do with your personality and your approach to teaching and learning. But these are just a few ideas to get you started. And now I'm very curious to know, for those of you who have not used a puppet up until now, after watching this video, do you think that you would possibly consider it? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope to see you again next week. Until then.